So today, we got a fun day going on. I got Tuba, I got Tekla, Dakota, Tora, and Korea out here today. This is my new sidekick, Korea. She's getting trained by the best here today. So we're not out very far, we're just out of the yard. I wanted to do a video today on just a few aspects about what's been going on around here. Give everybody a heads up. We're a preservation breeder of Elkhounds, and we raise two types, Norwegian and Swedish Elkhounds. And we're in BC, Canada, and we're like everybody else in the world right now. The Wuhan virus has come through, and so we're on what's called isolation. Now, for me, I'm in isolation pretty much all the time anyway, so it's not a new thing for me. I don't like risking, a lot of the work that I've done with the dogs, and I try to keep my dogs isolated, and that means I'm isolated. So we live up in the mountains of BC. Now I want to talk a little bit about our program so that you're familiar with how we care for the dogs and look after them, and talk a little bit about the Wuhan stuff and so on. Now, we're like everybody else in the world. We know that Wuhan is dangerous and deadly and can kill people, but it's not the real threat. We're well aware the real threat's the vaccine, right? So we're trying to mitigate the effects, the damage from the Wuhan virus in Canada by staying isolated and letting our healthcare professionals handle the front line right now and take this biological warfare on head on and keep the bulk of the population alive. Yes, of course, if it gets away, it overwhelms our healthcare system and causes havoc. But really and truly in Canada, we're well aware of biological. I mean, especially in BC, right? BC was a fairly new province. It's very British, and of course, First Nations people were here all first, and the British used the biological to come in and take over this place. What they did is they took a passive spreader, as everybody knows, it's common knowledge, but they took a passive spreader with smallpox and just walked them through and had feasts with all the chiefs and spread the virus that way and killed 90% of the entire First Nations population using that method. And they were able to quickly take over the whole place using a biological. That's the same concept is going on now, right? So Canada has a very good response to this type of threat, as long as the people help out. Now, I'm like a foot soldier, right? I got to stay out of the way. Don't get infected. Don't infect people. Don't transfer it. And let the frontline people handle it. And we're doing a pretty good job on it. I'm pretty proud of them. They're at risk themselves, and they're putting themselves on the line and their families on the line. And hats off to all the healthcare workers, boy. They're doing a job. It's up to us now to do our part. So we're isolated. We're staying isolated. I'm not going anywhere. Nobody in, nobody out. We got our notice from the Canadian Veterinary Association a couple days back that they want us to keep the dogs safe and to not let people around the dogs. So of course we've stepped up security around the dogs because it can transfer to them, and we take that information serious in my operation, of course. So we have changed our policy around having guests and visitors and so on. Now you'll hear a few of the big boys screaming because I got females in heat down there, but they can't get at them right now. Tuva was just bred. So bottom line is we're isolated. Now in BC, it's a nice province to do that in. There's a small group of neighbors in this zone here. We all live in remote from each other with big vast areas between us. But we border crown land, so we can hike our own land and go up, and there's hundreds and hundreds of square miles around us with nobody. So there's no, to give you an idea, I have never even met all the people that live right next to me, so it's not like I run into anybody, right? People in my immediate zone would not even recognize me. They wouldn't know who I am either. It's not like we have block parties, put it that way. We're in isolation because we like it. We've been this way for years, right? BC's well set up for that. I have a satellite internet connection, links me up. I have no cable, none of that stuff, no wireless, no cell phone service up here. You can't get a cell phone to work up here no matter what brand. There's just no towers. It's too remote, and so we don't have cell phone, none of that stuff. Fortis has their new smart meter system in to provide power for me, which is very cool. We no longer, they put this fancy high-tech gadget in last year, and now they no longer need a guy to come to the yard and read my meter, because I want it to be done with that. I didn't want anybody coming in and out once a month. They got to read the meter, right? But they figured it out, and they have some new high-tech system to be able to read my meter remotely, which is very cool. Canada Post has really stepped up for guys like me, and we got the new box now in a remote location. They set it up for me real nice, and it has the big box, the medium box, and the little box, so I can do all my mail order, and as long as I stay inside my box sizes, all my mail comes to remote. I can go pick it up with not a soul in sight, right? There's nobody around. I don't have to go to town. Now, if you've seen my shack, you know that I'm well organized to have months and months. Literally, if the government said, Merv, you got to hang out till September, I could do that. We got no big issues with that. If they said Christmas time, I could stay till Christmas time. I've got a big cold room, state-of-the-art. I have a thermometer in there that wirelessly connects upstairs and tells me it's 52 degrees year-round in there. It's foot-thick walls, stuff like that, insulated, styrofoam, spray foam, the whole bit. It's fantastic. So I got stuff. My pantry's huge, as you can probably imagine. You don't come up here for months without a big pantry, can rotations, all that stuff, right? And flowing water on the property. I used a high-efficiency, ultra 98% efficient, ultra no ash, no smoke, wood-burning fireplaces, 2 of them out of Quebec. They're big ones, one up, one down. Boys in Quebec made them. Now, everything we get shipped in. We don't have to leave to buy stuff. Everything is shipped in. I built my whole house on deliveries. I never picked up one item anywhere. I researched them all online and had them shipped in. Now, everything we get, food once a week, they load up my shipment on a big semi, and I meet them out on the road, and we gear up, of course, now. We're cautious anyway, but we gear up now and meet them on the road, and they don't even come in the yard. It's just a big truck set on with a forklift, tie ham bomb it into my truck, bring it in, put it into my freezer system, good to go. And so my food comes in for these guys once a week. And Wendy, she is a co-breeder of ours. She's got Tora's daughter Tika over there, and she's got pups there now. She goes by every 2 weeks, and they run an organic food delivery system. Food mainly, well, they got everything. And so we buy from her. She just stops at the road, sets my package out. Away she goes. I got my stuff. It's pretty cool up here. I don't have to be in the general population. Now, we like to keep our dogs away from other dogs, of course, because Canada has this habit of bringing a bunch of dogs in from countries that we shouldn't be bringing them in from, disease-ridden places. And they don't health check the dogs, they don't quarantine the dogs, they don't do anything with those dogs other than bring them in and give them to families and let the dogs bite the kids. That's really the whole goal of the whole program, is to tear the face off some kids, which is the dumbest thing you ever seen, but that's what happens. That's 100% what the results are. So we're very cautious about our dogs. We don't like that type of program. When we bring our dogs in, there's an intense scrutiny around all of it put on our dogs because we follow all the guidelines. Some other guys don't. So we take our safety of our dogs very, very, like it's big time. So this isolation is no big deal for me because we do it all the time anyway. Now I know there's a lot of people stuck in small apartments, stuck in cities, can't get out, got the kids going crazy, husband's going nuts, you know, and the wife just wants everybody to calm down, and it's tough going, and I feel for you. And I don't have news, I don't have TV, but I have read a couple of things online where it's a little chaotic, of course, with the clampdown on the open spaces and trails and parks and stuff, and this whole control stuff gets out of hand. That's why I like it out here. They'd have to have a SWAT team to come in and see me, I'll tell you. But that's beside the point. The bottom line is we're following the guidelines of the government. They want us to stay isolated. We'll stay isolated. We're doing our part to help the frontline workers control this. Tico, that's enough. So we're trying to limit any interaction that we have to make sure that we're not a passive spreader. I have not been in contact with anybody, so it's a pretty sure bet that I'm not a passive spreader, but at the same time I'm not taking any chances. And of course I don't want to get it. I'm at the age where potentially could hurt me, but I have my doubts. I eat good, I have a ton of vitamins. I take the best vitamins in the world. I take a ton of vitamin D, and you should all be doing that, right? Take all your vitamins. And the sun is very, very beneficial to wiping out the Wuhan, of course. And you want to stay as healthy as you can. Now, secondary thing about this, of course, is I like out here because I can stay healthier myself working out with the dogs and not end up in a nursing home. It's become quite apparent that Canada fell down and lost the ball there on looking after our seniors in the nursing homes. That's a crying shame. I'm embarrassed about that. And I feel devastated for those seniors. We dropped the ball there, all of us Canadians. They're the ones that paid for the hospitals that are caring for the sick right now, and they're not getting the care they need. Our healthcare system, our whole government system should have been looking after those seniors, and it's a disgrace what's going on. So I'm embarrassed. I feel bad about that, and I will try and do something about it. I'm not 100% sure what, but I'm going to try to do something because we can't have that. That's just stupid, and we're a smarter nation than that. But we're obviously not, because it already just happened. So it's a disgraceful thing. But as far as this biological warfare on us all, it's brutal. But the virus is not the issue. The vaccine is the issue. And of course, they're probably going to want to geotag everybody so they can tell that you're vaccinated and so you can travel and do all that. Now, if you go for that crap, you're really stupid. So you got to watch that, because that's what's coming, right? And then, of course, nanotechnology, all of that, 5G. I mean, anybody who doesn't know it is just living in a dream world, right? But they won't be putting no nano in me, and they won't be giving me no vaccine. Not unless I'm in a straitjacket somehow, and they would have some tough time getting me in that son of a gun. So, but you guys got to take care out there. Stay safe, stay isolated. Watch your dogs. Don't let your dogs around Wuhan right now, because it will jump. It does jump. Even though it was man-made, it was started out, of course, on animal, then reconstructed to have human tissue, human proteins to eat, of course, because it just doesn't change proteins. But it was reconstructed, but it can jump back to the dogs fast. Hey! Paso! Paso! Listen to that, Paso. Paso! So it will affect your dog, so you be awful careful with that. And then you see they're passive, and you can have problems. So we're keeping people away right now. We changed our policy. Paso! Ark! Jesus, listen to that. It's like a wolf den. So be careful. Keep your dogs safe. We'll keep ours safe, and we'll stay up here. We're not going into town for quite some time. We're going to stay isolated and keep everybody out of the way until we solve what's happening with this. And I'm sure everybody's going to push a vaccination, but not necessarily in Canada. I don't think we'll push it very hard. I think we're just going to deal with it in another fashion, more like Sweden. So be careful there and watch what's going on. All right, listen to them wolves. We got to get rolling here. That's a pretty good video, you guys.